All right, it looks like I'm live here. And I'm just going to wait a few minutes for people to join in. And I'm really happy to be here. I'm really happy I have the opportunity to do a live stream with you guys finally. So I was just unplugging my phone. If you hear any incidental, hello to Big Caleb Guy and Anthony Scott, welcome. So if you hear any kind of incidental sort of static, it's because my phone is nearby. I'm trying to keep it as far away from my microphone as possible because it causes a little bit of static, but it's definitely reduced the way that I have been operating things here today. And welcome to Dwell in Faith, Desi Carrion, Chelsea Bridges, and Scan Essex Gargoyle. Welcome. And thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it. I'm doing pretty well. I did part of my required coursework. Oh, Jesus. This is a little more interaction than I was expecting. But I did want to say I had to do a 7-hour course about HIV for my phlebotomy certification and Department of Health licensing for the state of Washington. So I got that done much earlier than I had anticipated, which is great. So I thought, you know what, screw it. I'm going to do a live stream a little earlier than I needed this evening. Yeah, off-grid lifestyle. I'm really sorry about the static, but not really much you can do about it. It's somewhat reduced, but you can still hear me, which is great. And hello from San Diego, California. James Elioth? Sorry. Thank you for all the absent content. Well, thank you very much for joining in and being so supportive of it. I really appreciate it. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to put on my glasses because I don't want to give myself a headache here. And I apologize in advance if you see any kind of glare. Sorry, I feel really bad about it. Nixon to L, welcome. Sophia Violet, welcome. Angela makes it look easy. Yeah, she has a bitter setup, I guess. Yeah. Thank you very much, X6 Gargoyle. So yeah, I'm really glad that you guys were able to join me, really. I really was. And I'm glad that I was able to do this finally, because I've been wanting to do this for a really long time. But the thing is, Kenny and I do not have internet in our house. So the reason why I'm able to do it this evening is because I am house sitting for someone and they have an amazing internet hookup. So that's why I'm able to do this. Go away, pop up. You're so stupid. This is cool and interacting. Thank you so much, Dwell in Faith. I'm so happy to be here. And I'm so happy that you're here. Oh, shut up. Love your glasses. They look so good on you. Thank you. It's just that when I wear them for videos, unfortunately, they do create a rather ghastly glare. So I try to avoid wearing them. I can get along without them for the most part, but sometimes I just need my glasses. But yeah. Literally within the shadows was oh my god, it's so funny. But yes, seriously, welcome to everyone who's here already. So if you guys have any questions for me, any comments you'd like to make about my most recent videos, oh my God, Scan Essex Gargoyle, thank you so much. I was totally not anticipating that I would get any super chats today, but thank you so much. Is my cat hanging around? No. Precious is back at home, probably sleeping on our bed and giving no shits. Yeah, glasses can be a little tricky. They can, it's difficult to find some for your face shape and your facial structure and everything like that. So, yeah. Yes, if you guys can please hit the like button, appreciate it. Thank you very much for the tip, Off-Grid Lifestyle. I can say hi, and thanks for all you share with the community. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. She is based in Canada, and she also she makes a lot of tarot card readings on her YouTube channel. So I genuinely appreciate that, and I genuinely enjoy her videos. She does a great job. And welcome, High Priestess Angelique. I'm so happy to see you. Places I want to travel. Okay, guys, come on. Just cool it. Can we keep it civil and awesome here? I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, any places I'd like to travel. I have a lot of places that I would love to travel to. France is at the top of my list. I would also love to go to the UK. I'd also love to go to Italy. I especially want to go to High Priestess Angelique, thank you. I really want to go to Italy, specifically to Bergamo, which is the hometown and also the final resting place of Donizetti. I kind of want to make a pilgrimage, if you will, there. Reading anything interestingly, other than my coursework for my phlebotomy class, not really. I've not really had much time to sit down and read because anytime that I am not working full time and anytime that I am not attending phlebotomy school, I am studying my materials for my phlebotomy class. And this is my last week of it. I take my final exam on Saturday, and I'm excited to get it over with because it has been chaotic and very stressful. But I'm really, really, really glad that I'm going into this new career. Off-grid lifestyle. Thank you. Started drinking absinthe thanks to you. Love it. Thank you. I'm really glad that I'm introduce people to this drink because a lot of people still have a really negative misconception. And again, that's what I'm here for. Yeah. I'm here to get rid of. I had no idea how far spread it was until I got a lot of comments from people coming to my channel from my I like to make. So they were just like, oh, I believed the bullshit until I watched. Hell yeah, that's exactly what I want to hear. I want to hear that people are learning something and getting rid of that negative preconceived notion about absinthe. Chelsea Bridges, I love the Lucia pigment. I use it often. I'm very happy to hear using Lucia in my makeup look today. If you guys can see here, I also used a little bit of tragedia and bone and a little bit of elixir kind of around the lash line area and a little bit of Okay, big Caleb guy, come on. I haven't seen anyone calling you anything negative in a long while. So if you could please just chill. If everyone can just chill, that would be great. I really don't want to block people from the chat. Nixon L, I still haven't gone over losing Jesse Norman. Also, good luck on the exam. Thank you very much. And yes, I did. Yes, he called you a perv, but he hasn't done it since. But if you could all just cool it, I would really appreciate it. I really wish I could paint with the skills girls apply their makeup with. Girls don't mess around when it comes with their makeup. Yes, thank you, High Priestess Angelique. Okay, let's see what we got here. I have my bottle of St. George here. St. George is lovely. People either love it or hate it. I've seen. I don't have a favorite rapper because I don't listen to rap music. Sorry to disappoint. To answer your question earlier, Anthony Scott, going to Italy to sing opera. It really just depends. It's probably going to be a while until I get to the level of performing in opera, just because of my the voice type I have, and a lot of people would consider me unhireable at least until the age 40. But until then, I am going to just have fun along the way and collaborate. Okay, Big Caleb guy, please don't make me ban you from the chat. And everyone, please be civil. In fact, one moment. There we are. Do you know any herbal absinthe with light anise? The one that I reviewed recently has a less pronounced anise flavor, but it's very forward on the wormwood, which has a very, I guess, rosemary sort of taste. First got into absinthe because of your videos. Good. Very good. And Ellen Olson, I started drinking absinthe over 20 years ago. It's an acquired taste that I acquired. Glad to see actual facts being spread. Thank you. Thank you very much. That really means a lot to me. So the makeup collaboration is between myself and Tater Rounds Beauty. And I'm kind of answering your question here, Dwell in Faith. I'm sorry, it took me a while to and articulate some thoughts here. Sorry. So the collaboration came about. It was kind of a brainchild of mine for about a year, maybe year and a half. And from the very beginning, it was definitely inspired by the work of my favorite composer, Gaetano Donizetti. And I had certain moments where I would envision colors and textures and feelings when it came to thinking of certain works of his. So that kind of translated into this eyeshadow collection. And I do have a passion for makeup, absolutely, but there is far too much content out there about makeup. And I know that if I did make any videos specifically aimed toward makeup tutorials or anything of the sort, that it would just get old really fast. And I just don't want to think about it. But I did want to manifest my passion for makeup into a collection that I was passionate about and really loved. And so that's how the Amore e Morte collaboration came to be with Tater Round's Beauty. I know you haven't done a literature review for a while, but thanks for introducing me to the work of Guy de Maupassant. Thank you, because he was kind of a hidden gem among Gothic and horror literature of the 19th century. So when I came across his works in my Gothic literature, I was pleasantly surprised. And I came to find that he had quite a huge influence on the existential genre of literature. And a lot of people find that really fascinating. And I have actually suggested to Cadaver Kelly, because she is very, very interested in existentialist literature and that particular genre of books there, which is great. So I suggested to her, hey, why don't you try checking out Like Death by Guy de Maupassant? You might like it. And then if you do like his writing style, then try moving on to his other horror stories. So there's that. Yes. Absinthe is not real absinthe. I'm sorry. And Raven Wednesday, thank you so much for joining us for a brief while. You can always come back a little bit later. How did you discover your love for opera? My mom was a really big fan of classical music and opera. And she was really into Mozart, and she was really into Beethoven, like the popular stuff. So I grew up listening to opera pretty much my entire life. But yes, thank you, Alan Olson. It definitely is. It is an abomination. It's awful. But I really did enjoy opera when I was growing up. And then obviously I grew up listening to Queen as well, which also kind of surged my love for opera forward a little bit more. Got into it via PBS at night as a poor kid. I'm really happy that PBS does do that. I really enjoyed the production that they showcased of Samson et Dalila from, or rather by, oh goodness, what's his name? Camille Saint-Saëns. Really great. And what advice would I give to anyone considering singing professionally? Get a coach. I cannot stress that enough. Get a coach. Self-training and self-teaching will only get you so far, but a coach will really teach you how to manifest your voice to the best of your ability. Rory. Nice to see you here, Rory. And for those of you who don't know, Rory is he's the dear friend of mine who sends me samples of absinthe every now and then, and I'm very, very grateful for his generous nature in doing that. Bloody Gravestones, thank you. This is Mortis by Black Moon Cosmetics. It's my favorite red lipstick ever. Used to pour the water over live. Wow, Rory, seriously? I think he's joking. All-time favorite absinthe for you, it's Jade 1901. Yes, Jade 1901 is fantastic. It is really, really good. And another one that I would say that I really, really love would be La Ponte Saliana. That was my last absinthe the last absinthe I reviewed of 2019, and I really, really, really liked it. Really did. So it's really fun actually doing these live streams with you now. Thank you. Seriously, everyone, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. Okay, can we stop with the trolley comments about absinthe? You know, a place in Portland that sells Jade 1901. What place would that be? I'd really like to know because I do have a few friends that are near the Portland area, and me being on the West Coast, of course, up in the Pacific Northwest, I'm kind of close-ish to Portland. Does anyone know if cloves are still around? Clove cigarettes? I think so. Oh, God. I hate these little baby hairs that come and just stray away from my hairline. Just stop it. Start my own collection once I stop ruby glass collecting. Yeah. Collecting, sometimes it can be an addiction. Don't think they're for sale anymore. I'm not sure if they'd be illegal, but I'm sure I've heard people still, you know, buy clove cigarettes, I think. So are you talking about cloves in general or just clove cigarettes that are illegal? Can't get them here in Illinois. That might just be Illinois because oddly enough, I have talked to a few people from Illinois who have also said that they can't get a hold of absinthe there either. So there's that. That's really funny. No clove cigarettes and no absinthe in Illinois, apparently. Still sold in my state, and I use clove oil daily. See, again, it's just cloves. It's a spice. It's a plant. Come on. I don't see any reason why they would put any kind of restriction like that on it. That's weird. Would you guys excuse me for just a moment? I'd like to take off my sweater because it is getting a little toasty in here. Okay, there we are. Okay, let's see here. I should make my own absinthe. Possibly. If there's a brand out there that would like to collaborate with me in particular, that would be an honor and I would really appreciate it. Now he understands goth more. That's good. That's great. Ah, yes, the infamous Castle Club in Florida. Man, like if ever I go back to Florida, I've been to Florida once in my entire life. I really want to go back and I would really want to see that club and see what it's like. It's Venus Doom. Hello. I'm so happy to see you. And thank you. Very kind. What brands do you recommend? Vieux Pontalier is fantastic. That's one of my favorites on the entire planet. So is La Pontesalienne. I think they're made in the same distillery. I might be wrong. I also love Jade 1901. And I really, really love, oh goodness, what's it called? Libertine in 1072 was really good. So really, I would just recommend you go through my playlist of absinthe reviews. And if something about the flavor profile that I'm describing in that particular video is, watch out for the scary Florida man. Not sure what you're talking about. But if there's something about the flavor profile that Alan Olson. Oh, I thought you said brands. I'm so sorry. Okay, top favorite bands. Do they have to be goth or can they be across all genres? I have read Vampire Kisses, absolutely. Um, that I really identified with that book series when I was growing up because, again, I was pretty much the only goth in a small town. Chelsea Bridges, I definitely see a collaboration with you in an absinthe company in the future, especially given your passion and knowledge. It's only a matter of time. If I can afford it and if I can get the time off, I'd like to go to this absinthe convention I think is going on in either New Orleans or somewhere in Virginia that my friend Rose Sinister told me about. I really want to go. I really want to get acquainted with all of the people involved in the making of absinthe. And Crimson Serenity. Hello, everybody. Sorry I'm late to the party. You're not that late. It's almost half an hour in. It's not that bad. So, top favorite band. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted here. I'm so sorry. Okay, top favorite bands. I would have to say definitely The Awakening. I love The Awakening. And I am just so thrilled and pleased to now have a relationship. Well, not a relationship necessarily, but a friendship with Ashton Knight of The Awakening. He's such a sweetheart. And I really appreciate that my hard work in my operatic studies has gotten his attention, even though he is not focused within that genre. That really pleases me. And I feel like that says a lot. And especially about the hard work I've been doing the last few years. What other bands do I like? I love Ante. I love Ego Likeness. Obviously, I love Queen. I do like Nightwish, but only the period in which Dario was involved. Zachnafine Aconite, welcome. Sorry, it took me a moment to figure out how to pronounce your name, but I see you. I have got that one. Yes, I really do love Ego Likeness. They're wonderful. Oh yes, Her Despair. Cannot forget about Her Despair. And obviously I love David Bowie because it's part of goth law to love David Bowie. Nearly out of water. Kelvin Fraser, good evening. Typo negative, definitely. I do like typo negative. Some people discount them entirely from the genre of goth, but I think it's possible for a band or a musical project to span across several genres of music. It's not against the law. So there's that. She Passed Away is wonderful. I also really like Sweet Ermengarde. Wonderful. Again, I do apologize for the tiny static you might be hearing. Freddie Mercury's Montserrat album is very good. Yes, it is. I wish I had the proper vocal range to sing her part in Barcelona, but I'm a mezzo soprano. I'm not a soprano, but Bloody Gravestones. I tolerate Bauhaus. I don't hate them, but I don't actively seek out Bauhaus to listen to. I guess some of the behaviors of certain members of the band have soured my taste. Yes, I do love Lycia as well, and Paralyzed Age. Paralyzed Age, I really love the Morella's Sleep. That's a really good song. Yes, Sophia Violet, I definitely agree on that. Honestly, I can't think of a single goth out there who hates cemeteries. Any recent favorite foods? Not really. Yes, I do love Angels of Liberty. I love Switchblade Symphony. I love Faith in the Muse as well. And I really love the solo work that I'm hearing from Monica Richards. Fields of the Nephilim, I dig. What do you think of Queen of the Damned soundtrack? This may shock you, I've not heard the Queen of the Damned soundtrack and I've not seen the movie. I know everyone is just like, oh my god, Queen of the Damned is the ultimate like vampire movie. The movie's better than the book. Nah, it's one of those things where it just feels overhyped. Yeah, it feels just overhyped. And I tend to get turned off of things when I see a lot of hype being generated around it. But that's just me. Was an Autumn in London After Midnight. Definitely. It's really hard for me to think of bands when I'm on the spot like this. I'm so sorry. Junk at the Cemetery. Keepers there think I'm weird. Lost Boys, my all-time favorite movie ever. Yeah, I did enjoy Lost Boys, and it was one of those things where it was just overhyped. I saw everyone and their dog complaining, or not complaining rather, but carrying on about the Lost Boys, and I'm just like, dear God, is anyone going to just shut up about that? And then finally, Kenny convinced me to watch it. We rented it from the library and then we watched it, and I actually ended up liking it. It wasn't as stupid as I thought it was going to be. Oh, it's me, Alex, your Harvado buddy. Hi, Alex. I missed you. Because of you, I love The Awakening. Good. Hugs from Mexico. Awesome. Great. Like the mysterious caped person who went to Edgar Allan Poe's gravesite. Ah, yes, the Poe toaster. As someone who first read Queen of the Damned in '89, I think the movie could have been better. I can't really speak on that because I've neither read the book nor seen the movie. And there's just something about Anne Rice's writing style that just really puts me off. I tried reading her book, Cry to Heaven, which was about a castrati, or a castrated male who was in the opera business. But I could not get past the first chapter because of all of the just writing style and the gibberish and the impenetrable fortress that was keeping you from reading on, basically. Stop reading and Cry to Heaven too. Yes, exactly. It just didn't make any sense at all. And the violin also didn't make any sense, and it was just so full of drivel, just so much nonsense, and it just was so senseless. You know what I mean? Off-grid lifestyle. What my feel for him? Yes, it was a common practice in the 19th century and the 18th century to castrate young males, like particularly if they're in their teens and still have their high singing voices, and they would be castrated to preserve that voice. Do you think the scene is dying, or do you think a comeback is coming? I definitely think a comeback is on the rise. I saw The Hunger years ago. I've still not had the pleasure of watching The Hunger. Again, it's one of those things that's really carried on about in the goth subculture that I've just not gotten around to watching. I've still not read Flowers in the Attic, nor have I seen the movie. When did I become goth? I became goth when I was about 11 years old. I am 25 now, just for your reference. So I've been a goth for about 14 years. Saw the Hungry was bizarre but slow. Yes, I agree. Like, I've heard a lot of people say just like, oh, it's slow, but it's worth it to see Peter Murphy and David Bowie in the same movie. And I'm just like, okay. Okay, I'm not a Peter Murphy fangirl here. I'm sorry. Had to power my way through Interview with the Vampire. Yeah, exactly. And people find it bizarre that I can read 19th century classic literature, but I have difficulty with Anne Rice and paying attention to Anne Rice. That's just me. A lot of people, it's the opposite. David Bowie watching Looney Tunes. Yes, I understand that Anne Rice has made a good contribution to a kind of revival of Gothic literature till, let's see here, like for the late 20th century, early 21st century. But I understand her contributions. I can respect her contributions. I do really enjoy Interview with the Vampire, but I just can't get behind her writing. I think Beetlejuice 2 will never make it. Yeah, I don't think it's ever going to take off, and if it does, it's going to be a trash heap. David Bowie pulled just what women wanted to touch. Yep. Yep. I understand. If y'all haven't heard of Jill Tracy, check her out. She's so ethereally burlesque. I love it. Yes, absolutely. Jill Tracy is wonderful. She may not fall within the umbrella of goth rock, post punk, and dark wave, but as my friend Ruin has said in his videos, um, I definitely think that there is a time and place for dark burlesque and dark cabaret within the umbrella of goth music. It's always been there. The music while I eat and watch the live stream. That's fine. I'm not going to fault you for that. Spiritual Cramps, welcome. Would you like people outside the goth subculture that people would be surprised to know? You guys are gonna think I'm crazy. I have a guilty pleasure for Jane Austen novels. Sorry, my friend Rory just texted me. Oh my God, Rory, you're so funny. I'm just poking a little fun at him. You need a kitty to hang with you when you live broadcast. Maybe that will be a thing in the future when Kenny and I get a different place that actually does have internet. Then it'll definitely be more often, I hope, to have live streams. Pacing myself to go watch it. Sergeant Derpy. Hi there. Hello, fellow Washington goth. Yes. All right, let's see. What did I miss here while I was messaging Rory? I do like Dante Alighieri. I really do. It's been a while since I read him, but I do. Do I have a sweet tooth? No, I actually don't. If if I have too much of something sweet, I swear to God, I will barf. I am not joking. And people think it's bizarre, but like if I have too much cake, if I have too much ice cream, if I have like too much sweet fruit, then it will give me a tummy ache. I'm not joking. It is the weirdest thing on the planet. So I typically gravitate toward fruits and flavors and chocolates that are bitter or somehow tart. But that's just me. Let's see. What's some non-goth YouTube you dig on? So, like, non-goth YouTube that I watch? Is that what you're asking? My favorite remake of an Austen movie. I'll be honest, I really haven't watched many of the remakes that have been put forth lately, but I do want to see the one that just came out. I think it was Emma that just came out. Kenny said he would go see it with me. The trooper that he is. I've been to Blackwater in Portland. No, I don't really go to clubs very often because my schedule is so full. Dark chocolate, the darker the better. Absolutely. Yeah, I love dark chocolate. It is fantastic. It is the best thing on the planet. I cannot stand chocolate if it is too sweet. I will get a stomach ache. Sorry. But yes, I don't have a sweet tooth. I do not have much of a sweet tooth. White chocolate kind of falls in the same boat to me as dark chocolate does. It just has a little bit too much sweetness for me to really enjoy it. Just laughing at my friend Rory here. So one thing that he's kind of carrying on about is when I do an absinthe review and I tell him via like text what the absinthe was like and what I'm tasting and everything like that, he's just kind of questioning it. He's just like, oh, you must be sensitive to, fresh herbs that are used to make absinthe. And I'm just like, I don't know, maybe. The most acidic absinthe I've ever had that really just really didn't sit with me at all because of how just how bitter it was Virgin Veld. It was just so bitter. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on with this thing? And then when I talked to Kenny's mom's boyfriend about it, because he makes a lot of his own alcohol, he said that it's going to cause a lot of high acidity in the flavor profile. So that makes sense. And it's possible that with my palate, I might be particularly sensitive to the acidity. But anyway, but Rory was just like questioning my palate when it came to my review of La Fleur Bleue. And he was just like, I don't know where you're getting sour from. And I'm just like, whatever, just watch my review. So now what he's been doing lately is he's been drinking a glass of the same absinthe that I am reviewing while I was, oh goodness, what was it? So he will drink a glass of the absinthe that I am reviewing while he's watching my review. But like, oh, I understand now. I get it. Okay, I can taste that too. I can really, like, I tasted it before, but I couldn't really pinpoint what it was. And I'm just like, yeah, exactly. I'm not crazy. Ugh. The Dungeon in New Orleans. I've not been. Crimson Serenity. I have not watched Jane Austen's Ascendition on PBS. I'm sorry. I don't really watch TV all that much. Which do you prefer, Barolo or Chianti for Italian, Burgundy or Bordeaux for French? I would say I prefer Chianti for Italian because it has that really nice kind of spicy quality, and then Bordeaux for French wine. Please keep the stream on your channel. Lots of aw, thank you. It's very kind of you. To answer your question, Nox Arcana or Midnight Syndicate, Nox Arcana, definitely. Again, thank you guys for sticking with me, and thank you for joining me on the stream this evening. I'm really, really happy to see such a turnout, really. Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking at a comment left by Dwell in Faith here that I missed. I went to the dungeon immediately, had respect, went to Rice, asked for a hurricane drink, and the bartender was just like, fuck you, get out. Love it. I love it. What brandy do you like? Oh goodness, there was one that I had at I got it from a grocery store that is a chain of grocery stores within within the Pacific Northwest called Fred Meyer, and I know it was from France, but I can't for the life of me remember what the brand was. I'm so sorry. Gothica Mistress of Darkness, welcome. Some people think it's strange that I'm black and goth. Well, they need to stop being so ignorant. I'm off to dance practice, but this was awesome. Hope you do another soon. Well, I'm sorry to see you go, Chelsea, but thank you very much for joining us this evening. I appreciate it. Cringing and Gween, welcome. Yeah. Even if you can't stay here long, I'm really happy that you're able to join me this evening. This nature is howling outside my window. Thank you, Florida. Might get got snatched out of the stream soon. I'm so sorry. It's been very rainy here on the island for the last few days. Sorry to stray off topic, but what foundation do you use? I finished my Kat Von D when I'm looking for something new. So I'm not wearing foundation right this moment. I did actually do some exfoliation yesterday, so there might be a couple of weird blotches on my skin right now. I'm terribly sorry about that. But the foundation that I've been using lately that I have really liking, the Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation by NYX or NYX or whatever the hell it's called. And it's one of the few brands that actually have a range of foundations that actually suit my skin tone, because, you know, a lot of makeup companies out there assume that a lot of people who are fair-skinned just have pink undertones. That's it. I do not have pink undertones. I do not have orange undertones. If you look at my veins, can't really see much of it there, but they're very, very green. So when you have green veins like that, it means you have an olive undertone in your skin. And the Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation is one of the only lines of foundation that I have seen that cater to neutral or olive skin tones. Courvoisier, maybe? I don't think that was it. I'm really not sure. Can you do a video about your jewelry collection? I love your jewelry and I'm into alchemy as well. Possibly. I do want to not focus on materialistic stuff on my channel for obvious reasons. Thank you, Angelique. Very kind of you. Yeah, I had been having kind of crappy skin lately, but so I'm just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna exfoliate this evening, do my normal exfoliation routine and the follow-up for that, give my skin a break, because when you get stressed out and when you have very oily skin and fussy skin and your body tends to react very extremely when you get stressed out, I had to do a little bit of damage control. Still binge watching Dark Shadows on Amazon Prime. Good. I'm very happy to hear about that because I love Dark Shadows, and a lot of people, there are a lot of people out there who are just like, oh my God, Tim Burton's Dark Shadows is the best thing ever. He made it up. No, he didn't make it up, stupid. That's one thing that kind of stuck out to me, Angelique, when you first reached out to me, was your name, because I instantly recognized that from Dark Shadows, and it very much called to my heart. Okay. Goodbye. Sorry, I've got to go early. Thanks for chatting with me today. It would be awesome if you could do this more often. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day. Thank you so much. And it was wonderful having you here. I'm so glad that you were able to join us, even if it was for a brief time. Thank you so much. I just very happy to have you here. Like I said, I didn't expect this much of a turnout. Lady Night Song, you are absolutely right. And as an adult, I can really look back on some of the subversive and subtle racism that I experienced when I was younger and first getting into the subculture online. How was your day? It was good. I'm here house sitting for someone and using their internet, and I'm very happy about finally using some Wi-Fi, which is why I'm able to live stream this evening. So yeah. And I was able to complete my HIV coursework and certification for my phlebotomy Department of Health license already. So that's fine. Didn't expect this much as a turn. You sell yourself short. That's very sweet. I just didn't expect this much of a turnout because the engagement on my videos has just been so weird lately. So when I'm seeing 35 to 40 people, that's more than I expected. The Gathering is music-based anyway. How racism could possibly exist in goth is beyond me. Again, people will find any kind of weird justification to be racist towards someone. My favorite one that I've ever heard was people being like, oh, well, the goth scene originated in the UK and Europe, so it's for white people. Bitch. Know that there's always someone else to listen to you. Thank you. Thank you, Dwell in Faith. You're so kind. What would you say to someone who might be depressed? It'll get better. And I do struggle with depression as well, so I definitely understand. Depression. My depression has gotten incredibly, much better since I've been on my ADHD medication. So it'll get better, and keep finding things that inspire you and drive you forward. I tend to skip the absinthe videos because I never drank the stuff. It intimidates me. I stick to gin. Well, stop letting absinthe intimidate you. It's really not that intimidating. I know that, they're doing this to a lot of goth and alternative channels. They're messing with notifications of subscriptions. Yes, they are. They definitely are. So if you guys could actually take a moment and make sure that you have the bell hit for notifications for your subscription to my channel, I would really appreciate it. Are you still singing? Are you going to pursue it further? Yes, I am still singing. I just have not had as much time with it lately because I have been going to phlebotomy school and working full time lately. So I have not had as much time to practice, but I try to squeeze in at least a few minutes every day. I did do some of my practice earlier today after I was done with my HIV certification. Not watched your videos because I don't want to spend even more on alcohol. I'm sorry. Serve a lot of streams, but when it comes to where to go? Goth related streams, I click really fast. Good. For someone who's never tasted absinthe, what would you recommend for a first timer for brand? La Clandestine, I have noticed I really noticed with La Clandestina that a lot of newbies tend to like it. And I think the reason for that is because it is a very naturally sweet absinthe. So I have conducted 2 absinthe tastings with multiple people in each one. And that's usually the first one that I ease them into with absinthe. And they really, really, they really like La Clandestina. They really do. And even someone who, Bloody Griefstones, okay, I'm sorry to see you go, but thank you so much for joining us, even for a brief time. I appreciate it. Goodness, what was I going to say? Even people who, before I do these absinthe tastings with them, they say, oh, I like black licorice. And I'm just like, I think you'll like this. Just give it a chance. And they give it a chance, and lo and behold, they like it. Glasswinged Angel, hi. I'm so happy to see you. You'll give it a try. Okay. So La Clandestina is a white absinthe, and it is very naturally sweet. And if you are a newbie, I would definitely recommend preparing it with 1 sugar cube, just so you can get used to the flavor profile. Would you recommend Ajunal absinthe for a newbie? Not quite. It has a little bit more La Clandestina absinthe. Yes, that's correct. That's exactly right. Kenny sent me a picture. He's out of town with his boss at the moment. Ooh, that is a fancy setup. Wow. Sorry, I'm just answering a couple messages here. Infinity in Zaya? Sorry, I'm trying here. Would you recommend Ajunal for a newbie? No. Like I said, I wouldn't, because it has a little bit too much bitterness for a newbie to withstand. But that's just me. So happy to catch you live. What are plans for future videos? More absinthe reviews. I'm hoping after this crazy season is over that I will be able to devote more time to reading so that I can do some more Gothic literature reviews. And yeah, no editing. It's all natural. That's it. This is what you get. I did too, and mine was very strong, but it was inexpensive. What brand should we avoid? Mephisto. Mephisto absinthe is awful. I hate it. Makeup collection storage video, love to see. No thanks. Again, that kind of falls under the category of really materialistic, look at all this stuff that I got kind of videos. And I've seen enough of those kinds of videos, to be honest, so I wouldn't want to make any of that kind of video myself. That's just me. So Mephisto Absinthe, I would definitely avoid. Do you think he will get side bangs again? No. I'm just going to let my hair just grow out. It's a lot easier to deal with, and I haven't had bangs since high school. Or maybe college, several years ago. Absente is definitely a brand to avoid. It's awful. And another brand I would definitely recommend avoiding would be Vieux Carré. It's made in Philadelphia, but they're just like inspired by the streets of New Orleans. And I'm just like, dude, it wasn't made in New Orleans. And you're calling it Vieux Carré. What the fuck? It's so bitter. Even the one time that I had it and I had a lump of sugar with it, it didn't help. It was crap. And then another one I would definitely avoid would be it's not real absinthe. It doesn't have any wormwood in it. Alfonso Mucha create the first absinthe advertisements. I wouldn't say he created the first, but he created some of the more popular ones. And sorry, I'm just going back to this comment from Angelique. Buzz from absinthe is unlike any other alcohol, too. It's so clean and beautiful. There's nothing that compares. I agree. I definitely agree. I've never been sick or hungover the day after. It's a chill yet focused vibration. I totally agree. And that's one of the things I love about absinthe is that it does not make me sloppy drunk. I'm not about that. Have you cooked with absinthe? Yes, I have. One time for a Valentine's Day last year, I made a very big, fancy, romantic dinner. Streets of New Orleans are covered in vomit. Yes, I remember that from the last time I went. The next day, after partying, after like some big party on Bourbon Street, we were walking down Bourbon Street or something, and I noticed that the air just stunk of bleach. And I'm just like, why does it smell like bleach? And they're just like, oh, yeah, they're just cleaning up all the piss and the shit and the vomit from the street. And I'm just like, dear God. Ugh. Absinthe is horrible. It's like great value printer ink. Exactly. It's bad, dude. My hair is all the same length, but I'm getting bored with it. Like I said, you can do what you like. The thing with hair is that it grows back. So if you don't like bangs, you can always grow them out. I love Belle Epoque and Mucha equally. Mucha? Mucha? I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I do too. I love the Belle Epoque era. What's your favorite absinthe artwork? I actually have some on my phone from my video that I made last year. Which reminds me, another video that I plan on making is, it's basically comparing the Reefer Madness smear campaign to the absinthism scare of the late 19th century. And basically showing how these fear tactics and the scare tactics and these smear campaigns and how effective they are, and why even still to this day, people think that absinthe makes them hallucinate. Just wanted to say I love you so much. You're one of my biggest inspirations, especially when I got into the Gothic lifestyle. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. Why just go to Savannah, Georgia instead? No, seriously, if anyone does have the opportunity to go to New Orleans, they should definitely go. It's a trip. It's definitely an experiment or an experience. I really loved going and I really want to go back. It was like piss and bad decisions. That's just Bourbon Street though. Don't let that paint the entirety of the New Orleans experience for you. There are other aspects that you will like. Piss and decisions, just like Corona. Oh man. I've used absinthe as marinade as it contains anise, which is nice for meat. I've not used it as a marinade yet, but if I did use it as a marinade, I'd probably do it for fish and not red meat. Have you read Alfred Jerry? No. Sounds like a great video. I love history and I don't know much about absinthe. Yeah, exactly. You have to go to New Orleans at least once in your life. And that's how I met my friend Rose Sinister there. Have you tried Kava or Crantum? I didn't serve it at the goth cafe I go to. No. Thank you, Joyo Pessoa. Thank you so much. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. I'm so sorry. I've listened to all the books you recommend and that I could find an audio platform pretty good. Good. That's exactly what I want. Katrina stopped me from going. I wanted to go after I graduated from high school. You should still go. Like, if you do find an opportunity to go, I want you to go. You should. One of my favorite pieces of absinthe art, I would have to say, is this one by Henri Toulouse-Lautrec. Can't really see much of it, but it's Van Gogh sitting and drinking absinthe right there. It's really, really great. Okay, this isn't good. Oh, my house might catch on fire. Oh, goodness. Well, I hope everything is okay there. Oh, I'm so sorry. Once drew a fan art for you long ago, but never sent it because it looks like a child. Could have done it. When I get it better, I plan on sending you something. That's very sweet of you. I appreciate the effort, really. Take you around, and yes, I absolutely do New Orleans and worked on Bourbon Street off and on for years. You live an hour and a half away from New Orleans? Lucky you. But anyway, I love that piece with what's his name? Vincent van Gogh drinking absinthe. And this was done by Henri Toulouse-Lautrec. And the reason why I like it so much is that he specifically wanted to adopt the artistic style of Van Gogh in order to capture this portrait of him. And it just feels like Van Gogh is in his own environment. Do you have to pay high prices for shipping because of all the sites I found have a high shipping cost? Sometimes it really just depends. Like, are you getting it from overseas? Are you getting it here in the States? I've found that the absinthe that I have gotten from Maison Absinthe have, like, the shipping cost has not been horrific, but it still is up there. And the shipping costs are high for a reason. They are definitely, there are special handling procedures that have to go into account when you're shipping absinthe overseas. You have to make sure that the bottle's protected and doesn't blow up. Yeah. Cinephile. I always think of The Night in Paris and I think of Toulouse-Lautrec painting Van Gogh. Yeah. I still haven't seen Midnight in Paris yet, but I really want to. I really like the idea of it. I'm so sorry for all of the noise. Jesus. What are your interests related to university degrees? I'm a historian archaeologist. I gave up on university long ago. It was shortly after I started experiencing ill effects from my ADHD that I realized that college wasn't for me. But if I had the patience and the mindset and the lack of ADHD, I would have gone into music or psychology or literature. The last one because they don't make an audiobook of it. I'm sure it'll come around. I really hope that they do eventually. I know sometimes it takes a while for them to come about after that. Only goth that feels like I should have been born in the Victorian era. No. Sometimes I feel that way, but I still probably couldn't live with the injustice and the misogyny and the racism. Like, I know some people don't realize it, and I actually got a comment about this a few days ago that was slightly annoying, but whatever, what can you do? When people assume that because I'm fair-skinned, I'm, white. Just because I'm fair-skinned does not mean that I'm white. It really makes me mad. Okay, who are your favorite YouTubers? I love Angela Benedict. I love Ready to Glare. I love watching Ruby Phillips. ADHD is a pain. Yes, it is. And I got diagnosed with it as an adult. That makes it worse. Who else do I like? I love Creepshow Art. I also love Rob Gavigan. He's fantastic. And I'm really glad that he's going to be resurrecting Why Would You Put That on the Internet? One of my favorite series ever. Love Ready to Glare. She's just awesome and super smart. She totally is. I really love Julia. She's great. Do you still practice your opera singing? Yes, I do. I definitely do. It's just I don't have as much time for it as with my coursework with phlebotomy and working full time. RC Scott, welcome. Very happy to see you here. I was wondering if you'd ever do a live stream. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to make it's difficult to do a live stream when you don't have solid internet access, which my boyfriend and I do not in our house, which is why we're here. Has it actually stopped raining out there? I'm not sure. Sorry, I was just taking care of that. Yeah. I love the Victorian style in music, but I hate the mentality of that era. Don't we all? Really, don't we all? So raining where I live and lots of flooding. I'm so sorry. I mean, I don't mind the rain. There's a reason why Kenny and I moved here. It can't rain all the time. No, it can't. But part of the reason why Kenny and I moved here was for my health. I just absolutely could not. Absolutely could not stand living in the Yakima area much longer. It was just horrible. I was always getting sick. My allergies were awful. And like I said, I've been taking allergy injections for the past 10 years because of everything that I was allergic to in Yakima. Ridiculous. Awesome seeing your experience with phlebotomy. I'm really enjoying it. And I'm surprised that I was able to get a good blood draw on my first try. I was shocked. How's phlebotomy school? Chasing a degree in creative writing, granted your academic pursuit is more practical, lucrative than mine. Yeah, there's actually a shortage of phlebotomists in Washington State, which is why I was able to get this very quick and very inexpensive course that is only 6 weeks. And I'm really enjoying it. Like, mind you, I'm still not digging the bruises I've gotten from my classmates here. There's still a little bit of my bruise left over from last week. This one, not so much. But part of it is that I have to be used as a guinea pig for blood draws. We have to draw blood from each other. So it could be worse. It definitely could be worse. Rather experienced 90s as an adult and a bit of the 70s and 80s. I would say that I'm torn between the Victorian era, particularly the Belle Époque movement, and the 1990s era of the goth subculture. That's definitely what I would like to straddle the lines of. And as you can see, I definitely do. Yeah, vampire class. I'm going to be a professional bloodsucker. Yeah, I had my practical exam with phlebotomy last week, and Kenny was kind enough to come to my class because it was actually a family and friends day, and that was really fun. I really appreciated that. You know, having him come in and drawing his blood, and I just really appreciate his support throughout this whole thing. He knows how stressful it's been for me, and he's been wonderful with it. He's been wonderful about it. He's had days where he has devoted time to straightening up the house, straightening up the bedroom, cleaning out the cat box, and drawing me a bath when I want a bath. So sweet. And it's not they, it's me. I was taking his blood. Sorry, I must have been tired, but lovely to see you, love. Yes, Dwell in Faith. Thank you so much for being a part of the stream. I'm so happy to see that you were here. And I'm really glad you were here. It just, so fun. This has been so fun, guys. Have a good night. Woman of many talents, no surprise you're doing extremely well. I believe in you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ouch, donated blood once and never again. Felt dizzy. Thanks for putting me on game about Ante. Went through her albums in almost one sitting. Good. Seriously, Elena is fantastic. I really love what she's done with her musical project. I'm surprised I've gotten this far without any major difficulties with the stream. Knock on wood. I think I'm type O positive blood, but I'm not sure. Self-harm for a biscuit. That's a funny way to put it. Sorry, I was just messaging Kenny. But yeah, I don't really have an issue with blood, and obviously I don't have a problem with needles. If I've been stabbing myself with needles for the past 10 years, then surely I can stab other people with needles. It's not as big of a deal, and I've noticed that people who are afraid of needles tend to hesitate more with doing the blood draw than people who aren't afraid of needles and are used to needles. One of my partners that I had in my phlebotomy class, her name's Abby. Don't think that she may come across my YouTube channel, but possibly, who knows. She also had to take injections for her allergies for many, many years. So because of that, she was so used to getting stuck with needles and getting her blood drawn and getting her blood tested. So whenever I had a time when I would draw her blood, it was always super easy and she didn't care and it was great. And she was actually a really good partner for the first time when I had to handle a butterfly needle and do a hand draw. Pretty great. Thoughts on Death Rock? I'm not too fond of it. I have a couple of outlier favorites, but nothing that I can really say, oh my God, I love that. You know what I mean? Shush, shush, shush. Thoughts on Jeton du Monde? I really appreciate the unusual contribution that she has made to the subculture. It's pretty amazing that she is also a dramatic voice type and operatically trained, and she is celebrated within the goth subculture. And I love that she did an album devoted to, or inspired by rather, Charles Baudelaire. That made me extremely happy. Love having my blood drawn, or is doing or doing plasma. Is that weird? No, not necessarily. Sometimes there's a really satisfying feeling about playing with your blood. I know that sounds really weird, but I've had to conduct a couple of blood tests and do like centrifuges with my blood, and it was really cool to watch. I just looked the other way during a blood test. A lot of people do. And I'm one of those people, I don't mind blood. I'm okay with it. Fierce is definitely my favorite album by Ontes so far that I've heard. It's great. Considering working on a video on Gothic architecture, artwork, paintings, or sculptures from history. Probably. I may do that sometime in the future. Hey, Shaker, welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. It's cool seeing it going through the tubes, but I hate getting my blood pressure checked. I do too. I cannot stand getting my blood pressure checked because I have low blood pressure, and it just makes me super anxious whenever they're tightening the cuff around my arm. It's crazy. Portland, Oregon. I've only been there in passing. I have family that lives in the Portland area. I'm cruelty-free makeup owner and supporter. Are you? Yes, absolutely. And the eyeshadow collection I'm wearing right now is vegan and cruelty-free. And this is from my Amore Emorte collection. Favorite YouTubers: Angela Benedict, Riri Phillips. I also really love this smaller beauty creator. Her name is Macy Lycan. She is just so down to earth and so intelligent and very shameless in a good way. Like, she mainly focuses on makeup, and she's one of the few makeup channels that I actually follow because she does a really nice balance between like edgy makeup and classy, understated makeup, which is something I've tried to do for many years and have failed. But since watching her tutorials, I was able to find a way to express myself in that manner. Oh, thoughts on neoclassical dark wave? I love it. My favorite of that genre would have to be Dark Sanctuary. Do you like dark country music? Well, if I don't like country music, then why would I like dark country music? I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess Dead Can Dance would be just considered dark wave, but not necessarily like neoclassical dark wave. Love the Kat Von D brand. I've dropped Kat Von D because of the whole anti-vax situation. I don't feel comfortable supporting someone who feels that way about vaccinations. No thanks. But I have spent a lot of time looking for alternatives to Kat Von D, and I'm really happy that I've invested that time in looking at other brands that not only are sometimes lower cost, but higher quality. Elena, heading off. So great to see you live and hanging out with you and the lovely people. Thank you so much for joining us, Elena. I really, really appreciate it. You're fantastic. Yeah, in Portland, Oregon, there are a lot of jobs in the medical field, especially in the Pacific Northwest. So I'm sure you could probably find something there. And there is a university in Portland, obviously University of Oregon, I think is where that is. And if you wanted to get a teaching job or anything in architecture, Portland is constantly growing. I love the way the products look, so I kept the old packaging, but I can't buy any new stuff. I understand. I totally understand. And the thing with buying from brands that you no longer buy from is it's best to use up what you have or return it. Because I know Sephora has a really awesome return policy, and I didn't bother with returning my stuff because it just seemed like too much hassle, and I have a really full schedule as it is. But use up what you have and then invest your dollar elsewhere. That's my best recommendation if you decide to stop use a certain brand. Yeah, and I did like the aesthetic of Kat Von D's packaging and stuff as well. Don't get me wrong, and I really liked that she really did raise my awareness for animal testing for um, cosmetics and everything like that. I appreciate that, and I do get that, but I just cannot get behind that. I really can't. Even though I haven't had anything from them yet, I love Black Moon Cosmetics. They have to be one of my favorite brands, and their lipsticks, OMG. I wish I could have them all. I have quite a bit of lipsticks by Black Moon Cosmetics, and they're actually a better and slightly less expensive than Kat Von D. Higher quality. And the lip color I'm wearing right now is Mortis, which is a very lovely and very beautiful blood red. It's better than Kat Von D's shade of Nosferatu, I think. Okay, I'm just going for a comment I passed by here. Yes, I am aware that Kat Von D did sell her company, but since there's a slight possibility that she may still be getting stock from it, even though she is not the sole owner of it, I still don't want to put my dollar there, if that makes any sense. Thoughts on Billie Eilish? I haven't heard enough of her music to form an opinion, but I'm just sick and tired of people labeling her as goth just because she dresses a little more darkly than everyone else. Anyone that dresses any darker than Taylor Swift is considered goth in the music industry now. Walked away getting something to drink. She stole my cheesesteak, so she's so selfish. Oh my God, that's so funny. Is animal testing for higher mathematics cruel? Gonna have to, not sure what you mean by higher mathematics. Yes, it can be expensive to live in Portland, absolutely. Do Lacey wear anything other than eyeliner? I'm so fine with not buying from Kat Von D anymore. I understand. I really understand. I haven't had the highlighter palette because that was released during a time, like the Kat Von D highlighter palette, that was during a time when I wasn't a highlighter fiend. I'm not saying I'm a highlighter fiend now. I'm just saying that I didn't see much use for highlighter because I just thought it looked obnoxious. But ever since I tried the Black Moon Cosmetics highlighters, I love them. I really do. In fact, the green highlighter that you saw me wearing in my previous video was by Black Moon Cosmetics. Didn't like the quality of your product. It was hit and miss. It really depends on what it was. Nothing related to goth people that think that way are just ignorant. No shit. Very, very ignorant. And I really wish that people would get just a better handle and be more open-minded on things and not think that, oh, she has green hair and dark makeup. No. Portlandia made Portland an expensive place to live. That's what I've heard. I used to like Evanescence, but then I grew up. Sorry, I'm just fixing my leggings here, guys. It's kind of digging into my rib cage. I wouldn't necessarily say that she's hated. I'm just saying that I just don't understand the connection that people make with her and goth, because it really doesn't exist. Lovecraft theme bar. I really want to go. I really do. Have you seen Nox Novacula live? No, I really don't go to concerts very often. I'm so sorry. I wish I did. Definitely understand music. Stage works. Based on the environment I'm in. Love the old Evanescence albums. Now the band is going through a pop phase. Bob Just Bob. Loved your reviews on Absinthe. You're giving me some great recommendations. Thank you so much. I'm so glad. Girls at my school who think they're goth because they were chokers and dyed their hair blue. Yep. Exactly. And that's because people are kind of shedding the spotlight on Billie Eilish and being like, oh, she's goth. And I'm just like, no, she's not. Quit it. Yeah, exactly. Like these same girls who fawn over Billie Eilish and buy Kat Von D makeup products and wear black nail polish and Susie shirts and do really thick ass eyeliner. Those are the same kind of girls that made fun of me in high school. And it's really funny that one of the videos that Macy Lycan did is she made a video called Cool Girl Rehab, and she was talking about I love the Ramona Flowers look, but labeling everything vaguely alternative looking goth needs to stop. Yeah, I know. Favorite dark ambient instrumental band? Definitely Noxarcana for me as well. Okay. Have you been to the Mercury in Seattle? Yes, I did. I have gone to the Mercury in Seattle. That was several months ago. Ronnie, I definitely agree. Afkar, what's your deal? I've only seen you sporadically comment on the discussion here, but that's fine. But anyway, Macy Lycan did make a video called Cool Girl Rehab where she would kind of deconstruct and take a look at basically take a look at the I'm not like the other girls memes. And it kind of made me reflect on the bitterness that I felt. Melanie Martinez, then. I can't really speak much on Melanie Martinez. I don't know enough about her to form an opinion. Gabby! Ah! I'm so happy to see you. Stopping by to say hi. Thank you so much for coming by. For those of you who don't know, Living Dead Ghoul 3 in the chat right now, that is my best friend, Gabby. I love you too. I'm so happy to see you. The only reason why I'm able to do this live stream this evening is because I'm house sitting at someone else's house. I miss you too. My schedule has just been so busy and I suck at keeping up with people. I'm so sorry. Favorite games. My absolute favorite game of all time that I have played and I'm able to play is Amnesia: The Dark Descent. People who think that S&M means standard model, dear God. See, Gabby, people remember you. They recognize you. They love you. Some of them really identified with the story that you told me that I shared in my video on today's or yesterday's Freaks or today's Fantasy. You listen to Cemetery Confessions. Yes. And I actually was on an episode of Cemetery Confessions a while back, like, oh God, 3 years ago now. But it was very fun to be on there, and I really love the discussions that are made. Like, your personality is so honest and down to earth. Honestly, there's no reason for me to put up a fake facade in order to get people to like me. That's just not what I'm about. And which one? I need to listen to it. It was the one done in back in 2017, and it was on the goth subculture and gothic literature. Yeah, people remember you from my old vlogs. The diehard fans that have been here for a long time remember. Black lipstick recommendation. I would definitely recommend Black Moon Cosmetics one in Sleepwalker. Contemporary version of a dark goth magazine. Yeah, it's a really good way of talking about the issues in the goth community without it getting vicious and ugly and erupting into drama. It's not what I'm about. How's my arm? It's good. I still have a little bit of bruising here. It's showing up a little worse on camera than it actually is, but yeah. Do you like dark cabaret music? Yes, I do. 2 people asked me in a row. I understand. Have you performed any more opera lately? No, because for one thing, I've not really gotten established here on the island as far as finding a voice teacher, or finding another voice teacher rather, finding an accompanist and getting the time and the resources to have a performance. So there's a lot that goes into having a recital. It's not just picking a venue, setting up a camera, and just having me in there. That's not it. I don't want to open that can of worms, Anthony Scott. I'm sorry. No, I know who you are, Graveyard Nerd. I remember. So many bands, so little time. I'll be honest, Gabby, I've not really been following the Birthday Massacre that much in the last couple of years. Dark classical, love it. When will you do your next workout? I kind of have to be in the mood to exercise, but lately I'm really glad that I have been I'm really glad that I've been making myself go to the gym lately. I've just been feeling better, and I've been running off a lot more of my bouncing off the walls, ADHD energy that I have. Thoughts on religion. I have a huge problem with organized religion, policing people. I'll just leave it at that. Cadaver Kelly, welcome. Like, I don't like exercising, but I will force myself to because I remember that I feel better afterward. I don't think it's too private. Don't worry. With some symphonic metal, I expect a PBS break at any moment. It's great. New album sounds pretty since Chibi can't sing that high anymore. She's developed her deeper voice. Okay. Well, I'll see. I'll see what I can find out and check it out there. Yeah, seriously, Cadaver Kelly, I'm so glad that you're here. I was actually just talking about you earlier in the stream when we were basically touching on our discussion with existentialist literature and how um, I recommended to you Guy de Maupassant's book, uh, Like Death, as a kind of transition into kind of getting into Gothic literature of the 19th century. As far as fears are concerned, I guess I fear failure. She is very sweet. Cadaver Kelly is very much a sweetheart. I really appreciate her. And I really love the focus and the emphasis she puts on the music. Okay, how do you spell that book and that author? Let me just go ahead and type that out for you. There we are. I did do a review of it, but you guys need to go see it and read it because it's fantastic if you haven't already. He really is an interesting character. Thoughts on H.P. Lovecraft? It's been many years since I've devoted any serious reading to H.P. Lovecraft. Great. Dominic Bjorn Art? Sorry. Yes, Moon Gem, I definitely agree with you. I'm not a big fan of the racism that H.P. Lovecraft has. Really not. He can be hard to read sometimes, but personally, I think that H.P. Lovecraft is slightly easier to read than Anne Rice. Clark Ashton Smith. I'll be sure to look him up. I think my favorite story by H.P. Lovecraft that I read was From Beyond. All the goth YouTube love here. It warms my cold, dead heart. Indeed. Yes, I dearly love Edgar Allan Poe, and I adore Edgar Allan Poe. And honestly, while I do feel that he does get a lot of credit for his works, I feel like he doesn't get quite enough credit for his works. And people really don't realize how groundbreaking he was. Lovecraft was racist and homophobic, but consider at the time he was in, most straight white men of that era were like that. Yeah, that's true, but sometimes that's not necessarily an excuse. There were some people who are a product of that environment of, homophobia and racism and all of that, but they are able to transcend it and conquer it in order to make a difference. Just joined. Hi from Portugal. Well, welcome, Marta Morta. Welcome. I'm very happy to have you here. Sorry, I'm getting a little fidgety. Yes, Edgar Allan Poe is definitely better. He used to read The Cask of Amontillado to my daughter as a bedtime story. That's fucking great. Love it. Oscar Wilde. I need to read more by Oscar Wilde. I really, really, really do. People do forget a lot. See, a lot of people forget about Lord Byron. I do not forget about Lord Byron at all. No. If there wasn't Lord Byron, there wouldn't be the likes of Edgar Allan Poe and Charles Baudelaire and the like. Blutingale. Blutingale. Love Blutingale. I listened to them a lot more in high school, but I think that's just a band that I will have to revisit a little bit further on. How could anyone forget Byron? Yes, exactly. I have some new movies based on the novels by Edgar and Vincent Price is in it. I do too. I have a stack probably this thick of the uh, double feature DVDs that I have that are Edgar Allan Poe, Vincent Price movies, with the exception of The Premature Burial that starred Ray Milland instead of Vincent Price because there was a contracting issue. Yeah. Bluth and Gale is definitely a guilty pleasure. Honest, sometimes I don't really believe in guilty pleasures because it makes it sound like you should be shameful of something that you enjoy. Love Percy Shelley. Yes, Percy Shelley is wonderful. And Percy Shelley was another huge influence on Edgar Allan Poe and on Charles Baudelaire and even on Guy de Maupassant as well. My guilty pleasure is pizza. I'm probably going to be ordering pizza later on this evening. Yeah. My old MP3 player from high school came across by Mr. Rock. I remember. Yep, you spelled that correctly. I was actually thinking about listening to him a couple days ago, but I didn't. I just skipped right past him and went to someone else. Theater of Blood. That definitely is a good one. My favorite of the Edgar Allan Poe, Vincent Price series would have to be The Tomb of Lygia. Go figure. What goes on your pizza? I love margarita pizza, as Glass Winged Angel just posted there. Love it. Memoirs of Lord Byron. No, I've not. Sometimes biographies of literary figures don't really interest me. It would have to be really, 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 really intense for me to actually seek out and read actual biographies of, well, biographies and autobiographies of certain historical figures. But yes, Dominique, thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining us. However brief it may be, I'm glad that you joined us. But yeah, margarita pizza. So, the land of deep dish. So funny. Margarita pizza is basically made with a red sauce, and it has I guess the red sauce is made with red wine or something. I'm not really that. Oh my god, you like pineapple on pizza? Oh my god, that's funny. I just don't like pineapple in general, so I may be biased. Deep dish is not pizza, it's meat cake. I'm sorry, the reason I giggled so much was because it reminded me of George Carlin's whole bit about food. Specifically, when you're going through the fridge and you come across something you cannot immediately identify. It could be meat, could be cake. It's meat cake. So that's what that reminded me of. I just had to giggle at that. I'm sorry. Stuffed crust meat lovers from Pizza Hut. Yep. Fond memories. Very fond memories. The picky eater bit. He's fussy. He's a fussy eater. Fussy eater, of course, is a euphemism for big pain in the ass. I'm sorry, I love George Carlin. Extra cheese and pepperoni for my pizzas, even though I'm lactose. Yeah, sometimes the cheese is worth it. Long lost band. Can't say that I have heard enough to form an opinion there. I'm sorry. That's fine. Honestly, I understand more than I speak as far as French is concerned. It's fine. I really wish I had learned it at a younger age, but I never did. Bill Hicks. I've not heard of Bill Hicks, but maybe I have a long time ago and forgot about it. So maybe after this stream, I'll look into it. The TV series and the movie are completely different, so it's entirely possible you're not going to like the series. Because typically, if you do introduce someone to something that's a remake of something from like way back when it was a new thing, sometimes they're not going to like the original material. Bummer. But good luck finding it. They don't have the entirety of the series on the streaming services, unfortunately. Caveman level broken French. Oh, love it. Yeah. Like I said, I understand more than I speak. My comprehension is fantastic. It's just apparently a problem that comes along with ADHD is difficulty with speaking different languages, but as far as speaking it, I'm fucked. Comprehension is fantastic, but speaking it, I'm fucked. It's like trying to talk without a tongue. It's terrible. What would you consider to be the definitive goth movie? So do you mean a movie with goths in it, or movies with gothic theme material? That's my question. Because some people would have a different definition of goth movie. That's what I'm asking. Just asking for clarification. Because of the movies with goths in it, I guess. Goth themed. Okay. I would have to say Crimson Peak is the definitive gothic movie. Gypsy 83. I did enjoy Gypsy 83 a lot. There was also the Ben Cross Dark Shadow series. Yeah. I love Crimson Peak. It's the definitive gothic romance. And I can't believe how many people just shit on Crimson Peak. They're just like, it's not scary. And I'm just like, bro, come on. Do you not realize that gothic romance and gothic horror are completely different? Did you enjoy The Craft? Yes, I love The Craft. For Our Party People, it's one of my favorite movies. Okay, I'll check into that. Yes, seriously, if you have not seen Crimson Peak, you need to see Crimson Peak. I think personally, might get shot for this, but I think personally it is Guillermo del Toro's best work. It's, oh my God, it's so beautiful. I love the score. I love the costuming. I love the production design. I love the story. Beautiful emerald green absinthe gal. Great to see you. Yes. Thank you so much for coming on to my stream. I appreciate it. I think that they were very sparing with the jump scares in Crimson Peak, but that's just me. Crimson Peak is very incestuous. Honestly, if you're going to complain about something being incestuous, you can complain about Fall of the House of Usher being incestuous. Better than Pan's Labyrinth? Yeah. I would say it's better than Pan's Labyrinth. Again, you might shoot me for this, but that's just me. 2006 Marie Antoinette. Let's see. Haunting of Hill House on Netflix. Yes, I did actually watch it last. Oh God, did it come out like a year and a half ago? Oh God, it came out so long ago. Yes, I did watch The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix. But honestly, Follow the House of Usher by Edgar Allan Poe. A lot of people do speculate that Madeline and that Madeline is, or that the relationship between Roderick and Madeline is incestuous, because some people actually speculate that the ailment that they suffered from that caused the morbid acuteness of the senses. No, honestly, R.C. Scott, I probably have a higher chance of being shot for my opinion on Crimson Peak being better than Pan's Labyrinth, but that's just me. Again, everyone is entitled to their opinion. Anyway, getting off track here, I'm sorry. I can't tell if that's car noise or if that's the famous jets that fly above the island. The famous jet noise of Whidbey Island. I've gotten used to it now. Anyway, people speculate that the relationship between Madeline and Roderick in Fall of the House of Usher is incestuous, and the disease that they suffer from, the ailment that they suffer from, is actually syphilis, because it causes a certain type of madness and sensitivity and acuteness of the senses. So that's the theory, that what they both suffer from is syphilis. And you can only get syphilis one way. Yeah. Haunting of Hill House, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting how they modernized it. I still haven't read the book yet. I need to. But it was really interesting, really intriguing, really kind of frightening. They're across the hall, or across the pond from you, Everett. Yeah. Yeah, I think I remember you saying something about living in Everett before in one of our conversations previously. I think I'm actually going to wrap up this stream here pretty soon, guys. I'm terribly sorry. I still haven't had dinner yet, and I'm getting a little bit hangry. Just a tiny bit. And I'm planning on having pizza this evening. Jet noise is better than the train noise next to your apartment. No shit. Thankfully, I don't get train noise here. Train noise was actually a big thing that was part of Yakima. You constantly heard the fucking train going by in the distance. Constantly. It was ridiculous. I get hangry all the time. Yeah, hangry. It's a real thing. Anyway, I'm going to order some food this evening, probably chill out, watch a little more Netflix, and then go home late this evening. Good night, everyone. I'm glad you finally had a live stream. I enjoyed. First of all, guys, before I leave, I do want to say how thankful I am that you came to my live stream. Thank you so much. I'm really, really happy that you came here to interact with me and ask me questions and talk with me about everything. I look forward to doing this again when I can. You guys are amazing. I love you guys, and I will catch you in the next live stream. And be sure to be on the lookout for my videos. And if you haven't already, the last few videos I've made, if you could do me a huge favor and like those, I would really appreciate it. Hit the like button on those. It would make my little heart so happy. Let's see here, departed one. You're welcome. Have a great evening. I'm really glad you guys enjoyed the live stream. Like I said, I was a little bit apprehensive about it because I'm just like, oh, what if it's going to suck? What if I have nothing to talk about? What if it's boring? No, I'm glad that you guys are enjoying it. So anyway, Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Au revoir, and I'll catch you later.